Test one, two. All right. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Well, I appreciate you meeting with me. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, well, of course. Um, so yeah, you're a professor at BYUI.
Yep. Yeah, I'm a professor. I teach study and life skills, mostly to freshmen, and I teach professional presentations. And every 5 years they want you to do a sabbatical, but I haven't done one, and I've been there for 15 years, and so I was like, all right, I might as well. And and just to give you a little background on why I'm doing this is there's an emphasis at BYU Idaho about employability and making sure we're getting the right degrees to students so that they can provide for their families and stuff. But
Mhm.
even a little bit more, I'm a communication guy and I love communications. And so I want to make sure that we're graduating the students ready for the field. And I've always felt that communications is probably key, whether it's communicating with your boss or effectively giving feedback or across the board. And so kind of a hypothesis is communications is key, but
Mhm.
I'll see what I discover as we go throughout, and maybe it's not, but this is a process, and that the president of the university is excited to get a hold of to see, all right, what are what are they uh, what can we do to get our students better and more quality jobs and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, of course. Cool.
well, good.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
I
happy
sure
to
do
help.
appreciate it. Yeah, and with talking with Chris, he spoke very highly of you and your brother, and I said, do you think they'd want to meet? And he's like, oh, I bet they would. So I um I'm hoping he give me some good stuff. But
Yeah, no, happy to help. I for the last 3 years, I've done a guest lecture at BYU Provo in their advanced financial statement analytics class, just talking about like small business due diligence and buying businesses and stuff like that. So it's fun to give back every once in a while.
oh, I love it. Oh, I appreciate it. Well, I'm hoping this takes half an hour, depending on how much we talk and stuff. But I've set this up for those 10 questions I sent to you. And if you have any questions about those, great. But I kind of put them into kind of those um, 4 stages of kind of the finding, interview, initial or initiation, and then long-term stage that we'll kind of go
Yeah.
through. Is that okay?
Yep. Let
Okay.
me just pull them up here. Okay, perfect.
Okay. Well, yeah, and ultimately, I'm trying to find that it factor, like the quality, skills, and attributes, and um, characteristics that makes somebody employable. And so
Hmm.
we'll start off with that finding stage. Um, when you think about the best people in your company as hire or you've hired, how were they first discovered and noticed? And and I guess I should emphasize, like, if you have stories that says, well, let me give you a story that kind of illustrates my thought, I would welcome those as well. So, um,
Yeah. Yeah. So just as far as finding employees, I think the um, the most reliable way is hiring through like personal networks of current employees. And so just being able to hire somebody where there's already a connection and kind of a known something known about the individual outside of just a resume is helpful. Um, I own a couple plumbing companies, and I have owned a boat club, and that was always beneficial for us. We do internal requests if we needed to hire people to see if anybody had friends or family that wanted a job. And and for me, that's a great avenue. So for people, networking is is a good way to kind of spread your net, so to speak.
oh, I love that. Yeah, and I've seen that's probably the best way to do it. Um, do you also take applications?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Um,
So, so yeah, question number two is when you're sorting through the applicants, what makes one person rise to the top before the interview stage?
yeah, it's interesting. So I'll give the example of my plumbing companies because I've owned those now for almost 5 years, and um, it depends on the role you're hiring for. If there's a high demand for that role, then the evaluation changes, right? Then you're just picking kind of the cream of the crop, and whoever has the best, most tailored resume specific to the job function that you want them to fulfill. Um, right. Like we hired for a controller, and we had a ton of great resumes for that role. And so who rose to the top was the person that specifically had controller experience for a small blue collar business, like in our space, and had a long track record. And right, so that was one where it's like there's a ton of applications. So just we were able to get super specific on who we wanted to hire. But we've also had like job environments for blue collar workers where there's not a lot of quality resumes that come our way. And so then you dive more into like soft skills, reliability, communication. If you can't get really specific on like work experience and like skill set, then you dive more into the soft skills. And a lot of times I would have, as for my plumbing companies, that have the new tradesman ride along with one of the existing plumbers. And then I'd get feedback from that employee on like, oh yeah, that's a great guy. I think I could work with him well. He knows his stuff, or he's, he doesn't know everything, but he's got a real good attitude, and I think we could work with him. So yeah, those are kind of my experience on both sides of that coin.
Okay, good. Well, let's move to the interview stage. What qualities or skills make someone stand out during the initial hiring process beyond their resume or formal qualifications?
I really want to see that somebody's a self-starter, that they don't need to just be told what to do. And especially for a small business environment, I mean, we don't have the org chart to babysit people and to manage people's like every move. So if I can have somebody that's a real self-starter that doesn't need a lot of hand-holding, that's an awesome quality that I would look for outside of a resume.
I love that. From your experience, what's the most common reason someone gets hired, even when there are multiple qualified candidates?
I think that goes back to what I said. It's just like who has the experience that's closest to the job function they're going to take.
Okay.
Like if I'm hiring a salesperson and I have two top salespeople, but one was a top salesperson as a realtor and one was a top salesperson as an automotive tech, I'm going to hire that automotive tech person.
Okay. Yeah, so when it comes to experience, a lot of it is like job experience or in the field exactly, or is it a little bit more than that?
For me, I try to dial in like functionally, what are they doing? Like, are they like, we'll take sales for an example. What's your sales cycle? Is it, you get a new inbound lead, you follow up through automations, people typically close in 1 to 2 weeks, and then you don't touch them anymore. Or, like contract sales, those are more, 2 to 5 month sales cycles. If I'm selling somebody on longer sales cycle and a longer sales cycle business, then I need to know that they have the patience for that. If I'm hiring somebody for a quicker sales cycle business, I need to know that they can handle 40 no's a day and be able to be able to churn through that many leads to get the numbers. And like people's personalities are different, right? Like a realtor, that's a longer sales cycle mentality. That's more of a like show it, find the right options and the selections and get you into the right fit. And they're not really taking a ton of no's, but they're more like educators in a process. Versus if I just need somebody to turn through a database and get through 1,000 contacts in a week, that's somebody that's just being laser focused on their 30-second pitch, and every no just is one step closer to a yes.
Oh,
I
interesting.
don't
So it's a
know.
lot of just figuring out like what is the needs of the company and their experience within that niche that you're trying to get them involved with.
Yeah, and that's too like I could say like same thing with like car sales. Like car salesmen can be very good at car sales, but they won't be good at selling a membership. Or they could be very good at selling a house, but they won't be very good at you know selling a software. And obviously, if somebody has like automotive tech software sales that's similar to ours, it's a good fit. But if I'm just evaluating salespeople and nobody has the specific job function, then I try to dive into like, okay, take away what they're selling. How is the sales cycle? What are they doing? What's their role? What's the process? And are they going to feel comfortable in my process with the role and the cycle and the speed that we maintain?
Yeah. So are there any red flags or warning signs that makes you hesitate to hire someone, even when they appear to be qualified on paper?
Um, Good question. Yes, there are red flags. Um, I feel like for me, if there are gaps in the person's story, or like things that I can't tie out, like in their experience, then it just kind of makes me wonder. Um, I don't know. I don't think I have a good example of that one, but
That's okay. Yeah, it's just like if they
yeah.
have a gap, you're like, what's the rest of the story and what are you hiding? I get that
Yeah, just
for
like as
sure.
an interviewer, I should be able to understand like your story and your job description fully. But as if I get confused about who you are and what you've done as an interviewer, then it's typically a bad thing.
And yeah, that seems like that would be the red flag right there. It's like something's not lining up right, understanding the story. I like
Yeah,
that. I like how you brought that up, gaps in their story, understanding their story, because that's really what they're trying to do is like, hey, tell me your story a lot of times.
yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Um,
Well, after someone's hired, what qualities or behaviors help them become strong long-term fits for your company or the workforce?
um, Reliability and like uh, being a self-starter, also like taking ownership of their role. That I love that, and I support those people all the time when they come in and they just roll up their sleeves and get to work and try to figure things out. Even if they're not having success, if they're trying things, I would rather every day somebody that throws 20 darts at a dartboard and misses every time than somebody that just creates excuses and just tells me, so the dartboard's just too far away, but the dartboard's too small. My other company, it was bigger. Like, you guys need to bring me more leads, or like, I need this different setup. Like that kind of stuff, it always, the relationship always comes to a close at some point in time. But if I got somebody that comes in, it's like, oh, you know what? Like, yeah, let me just keep trying. Oh, that's not working. Let me try this. And you can tell that they're working hard. I love that.
I love that. Self-starting, reliability, no excuses. I can't tell you how many times as a teacher I have to deal with excuses. So,
Yeah.
good.
And like, to what I'll tell people is, and especially like managers that I've trained up, it's like, look, I don't care if you come to me with problems, but I also want you to come to me with a solution. And it could be the wrong solution. We could talk about it, but I want you to have thought about it. I don't want you to just like every time you stub your toe, you cry, mama. You know, come, come to me with a little bit of thought on how you can avoid it next time, or like what we could do better.
God, I can't tell you how much I love that. That's awesome. Um, all right. Let's see. Number 7. What skills or characteristics separate employees who simply perform their job from those who become strong candidates for promotion?
That's a good one. I think it's those people that really show ownership.
Okay.
And I think that's the difference in what sets people apart is somebody that's just receiving a paycheck versus somebody that really takes ownership and pride of their work. And even though they might not be like financially aligned with the owner, they're like emotionally aligned with the owner, where they want the same thing that the owner wants, which is like, growth, quality work, production. Um, I also think when like there's a book called The Go-Giver, and I've always been a fan of one of the principles in there. It's that provide more value than you receive in compensation. I think that people that can nail that down, they will be extremely successful. And it's hard for most people to conceptualize because they think, why would I do that if I'm not getting paid for it? But what they don't realize is they're providing value that will eventually lead to somebody paying them for it. A lot of times you have to do something for free or extracurricular to get proficient at it, and then somebody will pay you well for it. And so just, especially at a start, providing more value than you receive in compensation, that balance should always be that way. If you're receiving more compensation than you're providing value, you'll get fired every time.
And it was called The Go-Giver?
Yeah, it's a great book.
I love it. Do you know who the author is? I'll Google. I'll
Yeah.
Google it. That'd be really interesting to put with this study as well. I love that.
Yeah, Bob Berg and David Mann. It's amazing.
David Mann.
There's a
Okay.
series that's the first one, and it's great. It's the best one.
Thank you for sharing that with me. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, when you're looking at employees, what qualities, behaviors, or skills prevent people from being promoted even when they're technically good at their job?
So I think there's two things I would say. One, the higher up in a company that you get, the more your responsibility becomes managing people and processes versus doing a task. And so a company needs great task doers, but they also need managers of people and processes. And so I think that's the way I look at it for promotion. If I have like a great technician that isn't good with managing people or processes, I'm going to continue to give him raises, but I might not promote him to a management position because that might not fit his personality or her personality. So no, I definitely think there's a big difference there. If somebody's goal ultimately is to be a top manager, they have to know how to manage people and processes in addition to being technically sound in their role.
And for those that have both good at their job or good at task doing and managing people well, those are like the ideal candidate for promotion, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, like I have a brother-in-law that wants to buy a business, and he got his finance degree at BYU, got a finance job out of BYU, and he's like, I really want to buy a business. He's like, what's the best skill set I can learn? because he was looking to reapply for jobs. And I told him that just managing people and processes. If you can figure that out, then you can own or run any business. But like, so, anyways, he ended up getting rather than going and getting like a senior level finance or data analytics job, he now got like a operations director role at a home healthcare business where he's managing the operations for like 40 employees in Utah and Idaho. And it's just like, it's the perfect job for getting to where he wants to go. So
that's awesome. And it's interesting because it's probably a good fit for him because that's what he wants to do, but it wouldn't be a good fit for everybody.
right. And that's why it's like knowing what your goal is, right? If your goal is to become, a partner at a professional services firm, then that's a different goal than somebody that wants to go own their own business.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Well, when it comes to how does managing people, you may have already answered this, you kind of already had, but how does managing people affect hiring and promotion decisions versus just the task doers?
What question are you asking?
Well, this is the 8.1. I think you've already answered it, but maybe if there's anything else to add, because you had mentioned that managing people is probably the biggest key on promotion as far as like higher up the chain versus just I'll give them more money to do their tasks.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there anything else you could tell me about that to help my research on this? Yeah, well, you kind of already
nothing else is coming to mind.
Yeah, because you've answered it, and it actually have answered very well. It's nice when you kind of put that together. All right, when you think about people who are most successful in your organization or industry and what you're doing, what qualities, characteristics, or skills do they consistently demonstrate?
Results.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, I'm just like a big results guy, fruits of your labor kind of thing. It's if you're producing results, I don't really care how you get there. And I think, yeah, I've got a good buddy who he would say this all the time: success leaves clues, and I think it's true. The most successful individuals. There's another book. It's called Good to Great.
Yeah.
Right. It's finding the right seat on the bus. And I think that's relevant as an organization. I also think that's relevant as an individual in a career is you need to find the right seat in the bus for you. And if you find that right seat in the bus, you'll go farther than if you're stuck in the wrong seat. So
I like that.
Yeah, I think successful people they found it. They found their right seat and they're thriving in it. And it just, it's work, but it's work that you enjoy, that you look forward to, because that's your swim, like that's your strength, and you're embracing it.
I love that. Would you say another way, when you say results, is that kind of value added to the company and those type of things? Or would those be different to you?
Results in sales is very clear. It's how many, deals have you closed. Results in a plumbing company is a little different, but I would say it's like how reliably can you fix problems? How reliably can you do your job? Your quality of work produced as a whole. That's the results that I would look for in like a blue collar job.
Okay, I love that. All right, Brent, last question. If you were to advise your 17-year-old self, I don't know if you had a mullet back then or what, But if you're if you were to advise your 17-year-old self who wants to be hired, succeed, and eventually be promoted, what would you tell yourself to develop first and why?
Um, just hard work and reliability. I think that's applicable to any job, any function, um, and understanding that provide more value than you seek in compensation. I think those are just kind of like overarching principles that if you can embrace those, you'll be successful anywhere. Because like I don't know, at the end of the day, my career path is nowhere near like what I thought it would be when I was 17. I don't think many people's career path turns out the way they expect, but it's just the the quality that you or the value you provide to the world. That's what ends up you know bringing financial success, and the path to that may be different. Like I never thought I'd be in tech right now, or I never thought I'd own plumbing companies. Um, like there's a lot of things I never thought I'd do.
Yeah.
As far as like where I'm at. So
Interesting.
I can log you.
Yeah, I can log you in real quick.
Yay!
My daughter's homesick today.
Yeah.
She's got a fever.
dang it, yeah, my kids were all sick last week. We had it run through our house.
I blame gardening.
The guard.
Yeah.
She blames hard work for it.
Yeah.
Too many chores.
Yeah, it started like right after that.
Yeah.
I got a runny nose and a sore throat.
I'm
and-
sorry. We shouldn't let you work hard.
No.
Well, Brent, this is awesome information. I can't tell you how much I thank you for doing this. I know that you're busy and stuff, but this is very valuable for what I'm trying to accomplish at BYU Idaho. So,
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, good luck with everything.
is there any? So you've heard the questions and kind of my thought process on things. Is there anybody else that you could put me in contact with that I could talk to that you that might help me with my research as well?
Not off the top of my head. If I do, I'll shoot you a message.
Okay, I appreciate it. Well, it's such a great honor to meet you, and I wish you the best of luck with what you're doing. You're doing a good work, and you have a beautiful family. I love those pictures. Those are
Oh yeah, thanks.
yeah.
They're fun. We're busy.
We have 3 girls and 1 boy too, and so it makes me
Oh, cool.
pretty jealous at that stage because our son is now on a mission. He was the oldest, and we're starting to see them kind of leave the nest, and it's kind of hard. But
Yeah. No, it's a busy stage, but no, we enjoy it. So
very good.
well, yeah,
Brett, thank you.
great to chat, and good luck with your research study.
Thank you, and I'll email you if there's any follow-up questions. But this is very valuable stuff for me, and I appreciate it. So have a great day.
You too. Bye.